Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, I hope your Passover and Easter breaks were fantastic. You're now free from sin and free from fear, and that is pretty good. Now, I hope you all had wonderful and involved Seders. Many began the process of getting back together. Some stayed the virtual route, whatever each was most comfortable with. And most of them, whether traditional or virtual, tended to follow the medieval formula that we've used these last several hundred years. It is the old familiar, the tried and true. Several also chose to take the opportunity and keep it closer to the original Passover Seder. I ran two exciting Seders, a combination of both, full of questions and discussion, and a live vibrancy of the lessons and stories not from 3,500 years ago, but from now. Now, few people wrote to tell me that they enjoyed the time with their nuclear families again. They had more pointed discussions. The time they would have spent reading from the book was devoted to talks about what freedom means, what constraints and pharaohs they have faced. Each of them, and we've all faced pharaohs these last couple of years. They talked about the plagues, what they meant, especially having lived through one, what they did, and they said that they felt more connected to the purpose by focusing on the 3 foods that are talked about instead of the 6. Neither's better than the other. The goal is to get something from it beyond seeing people on a video screen and reading the same story or sitting around a table and counting paragraphs. Bring the purpose to life. Now, as is usual, every Seder should be completely different. I've done them for over 100 people, and I've done them for 3. I've done them in 45 minutes, and I've done them for 6 hours. No two are the same. And one of the reasons each is different is that wherever possible, I never use a book. Vahagadala diber bayom hahu, and you shall tell your son. It is not a story to be read, it is a story to be told. Whether there are 2 or 200, you must encourage everyone to speak, but from the heart, not from the page. It's not about martyrs or children. It's about you. And what holds you back? Who or what is your Pharaoh in life, your fear, your constraint? And how do you break the chains and be free? Unchain my heart. Baby, let me be. 'Cause you don't care. So please, set me free. Unchain my heart. Baby, let me go. Unchain my heart. 'Cause you don't love me no more. You know, this is your opportunity. Break the chains, my friends, and be free. Now, this weekend marks the end of the festival of unleavened bread. One of the things we talked about, and which the food reminded us of, is the fact that we are survivors, and we honor the survivors and victims of our lifetimes. Those are the Holocaust. Coming up in a few days is Holocaust Remembrance Day, Yom HaShoah. It's on April 28th each year. There's no formal ways of honoring this day, but one suggestion was that each home should light a yahrzeit, a memorial candle. I think it's a great idea. It helps elevate the souls of that martyred generation. Now, like I say, there's no official liturgy that goes with it, although the closest might be the Reform movement's 6 Days of Destruction. And of course, not to be outdone, the conservative movement produced Megillat HaShoah, the Holocaust Scroll. It contains personal recollections of Holocaust survivors and is written in biblical style. It was composed under the direction of the Hebrew University of Jerusalem and the Schechter Institute. And I know several of the rabbis and scholars who worked on it, and I studied at the Hebrew University and worked with some of those people. It's a time to honor those who came before. And holidays are times to honor guests as we welcome others, everybody you know, as we celebrate our coming together, like when we come together to celebrate as a community. Collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, and we've shown our faith for thousands of years. Any and all faith. Love, any and all love. It's a true chavura, it's a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness. compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes. It unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we are individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way you want, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, my friends. So let's all spread some love, some goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, this is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, and we all believe in something. It is a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you do control, of what you can correct when you find something's gone off course. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It just floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out. For those you know, and for the souls and spirits of everyone you love or have lost, think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world. It is the tikkun olam. That's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It's not something we can complete. It is an ongoing task to be dealt with in this lifetime. It's for every lifetime. We must each do our part. We must each do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the world. As we change ourselves, we change our conditions. And part of the healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everyone. You don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for Lisa and Doria, for the Tonys, for William and Mary, for Snoopy, Lana, for Agent K and Joseph, for Aurelia, Anne and Alex, for Dave and Mookie, for Ingrid, for Sosha, for the dear Queen of Cups, and for all those suffering, for all our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everybody you know in need, and for the whole world, and for Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes and goodwill and love that we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit, and spirit, my friends, never dies. Avotainen Makor HaBracha Limotainen. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage, make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Ishabarak. Let us all have our spirits renewed. And this is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as he has healed before. Ishabarak, may he who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Let me give a special thank you to all of you, because you're all devoting a little of your sacred time in your sacred space to me and to the world, and I'm very appreciative of it. Because this is what your time is. It is you're spending sacred time honoring your own beliefs. And if you could take a full day for it, that's great, but if not, just a little. It can be part of your intention, your kavanah, that you keep sending out to the world. Now, we're in what is known as the Chol Ha'moed, the intermediate days of the holiday, even though technically we're at the very end of it. There's 2 holidays that have intermediate days, this one and Sukkot. And during the intermediate days, we don't read a fresh part of the Torah. We reread an older one. And in this case, we would reread a bit about Moses and the second tablets and his shining face. It's a wonderful reading. And in it, we are reminded that all has been created in the desert is to honor God. We knew him then. The only generation on earth to spend every day for 40 years knowing, seeing, and experiencing the majesty of the Lord, and we have been waiting for him ever since. The iron hand, it ain't no match for the iron rod. The strongest wall will crumble and fall to a mighty God. For all those who have eyes and all those who have ears, it's only he who can reduce me to tears. Don't you cry, don't you die, and don't you burn like a thief in the night. He'll replace wrong with right when he returns. And of course, at the end of the wilderness generation, God says he's turning his back on man to see what happens, so we could be waiting a while. But these intermediate times are the times for us to think about what the holiday represents. In this case, it is your chance to be free of the fear, the Pharaoh that holds you back in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, in confinement, in constraint. You've just celebrated the most important holy day in the Bible, the day to celebrate freedom. It's not a physical thing. You're more or less physically free. It's your mental freedom, your freedom to choose. We have some of those restricted freedoms now. And that, my friends, impacts you emotionally, socially, physically, psychologically, spiritually, in all ways. So choose and embrace freedom. But really embrace it, not by reading a story, by sharing your story. Now, I love Passover for what it represents and is, but like most things, there are great things and odd things about it. And I think one of the oddest things is we now begin this strange animal known as counting the Omer. And really only the Orthodox do it. It doesn't matter what it is. But for those who want to know, it was a measure of grain. And its countdown celebrates the Great Epiphany, the Ten Commandments, the revelation to 600,000 people, celebration of the great rules of life. And don't forget, at one time in our history, when we were still putting our liturgy together, those rules, the Ten Commandments, were actually recited daily along with the Testament of monotheism, the cornerstone prayer of Judaism, the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, O Israel, the Lord is great. There is but one. Now, what a statement. What more needs to be said ever? But what ends up happening is we end one holiday and we begin focusing on something else without thinking about what it all meant. And yes, we have to always keep in mind there is only one God. It's the same God for all. And I encourage each of you to do nothing other than that. Read the Shema and the Ten Commandments every day. Simple rules for life. And you will find yourself freer than you can imagine. You'll live life with respect for all, and you will radically alter the trajectory of your existence. I am the Lord your God who brought you out from the land of Egypt, from a house of slaves. That became the new permanent calling card of God, not as a creator, but as a liberator. Now we are beginning the countdown to that epiphany. And who doesn't need an epiphany? But don't focus on the countdown. God created the world and all the people the same, to be the same, to be one, to be different parts of a greater whole, as it was in the beginning. So we hope it shall be in the end, right? When we were all united. It just seems to be taking us quite a while to get there. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright, as it was in the beginning. One love, so shall it be in the end. One heart, give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. That's from my good friend Joe. Now, we do praise God, and we do have faith and hope in faith. And moreover, there is a faith component to everyone's life, including atheists' lives. See, even atheists believe good and evil really exists, that life may have a purpose beyond one he or she is made up, or that free will exists, or for that matter, that science alone may not explain how the universe came about, or how life arose from non-life, or how intelligence, and believe me, I use that term loosely, arose from non-intelligence. They strive for reason in favor of faith, but do not rule it out. Freedom is the freedom to believe what you choose and the freedom to be you. Now, in addition to this being the time of freedom, it's a special time of the holiday because the last day of Passover is also the time of the year to do Yizkor, the public mourning. Now, the word Yizkor means to remember, and it refers to a very special prayer said on behalf of family members and others who have passed. It's an opportunity for living relatives to have an elevating spiritual impact on the soul of a departed loved one. For the person saying Yizkor, it can be a very important reflective moment. It originally was only said once a year at Yom Kippur, but now it's said 4 times, Yom Kippur and the 3 gathering festivals of Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. Now, Yizkor can be recited on behalf of any relatives, though people are most often saying it on behalf of those for whom Kaddish is said, which is generally parents, children, siblings, spouse. And although the Yizkor service is brief, you'll often see all the congregants, other than those who will be saying Yizkor, get up and leave the synagogue while it's said. It's not a requirement. And you can still participate, even if it's just to honor those you want to say a remembrance for. It's also not necessary to be done in a synagogue as part of a service. Anyone can at any time say Yizkor privately at home. It is the honoring and remembering of anyone. And it sends energy out to the universe and is actually something we often do. It is a remembrance. We remember them. The rising of the sun, and at its going down, we remember them. At the blowing of the wind, the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. The blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. The rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. At the beginning of the year, and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they're now a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joy, we crave to share, we remember them. When we have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. When we have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they're now a part of us as we remember them. We are each different. We each observe in our very own ways, my friends, in a non-communal, quiet, personal way is as good as any other. It doesn't have to be the same as anybody. We're brokenhearted. We mourn for those we love. I tell those who ask, the effort to say Yizkor, it's a beautiful statement of respect for the departed. For people who are familiar with the prayer service and who may not read Hebrew, there are always people ready to help one learn how to say Yizkor. It's a time to honor the members of your family, of your community, those you knew, those you heard about, those whose paths you never crossed, the martyrs and freedom fighters in history, to honor and to elevate the spirits and souls of them all. Now, Judaism does not spend a lot of time talking about the afterlife. It's just one of those things. Now, most people get most of their knowledge of it from movies or TV. It's been an important part of the study of Judaism, but not disseminated well. It still is primarily in the realm of rabbinic studies, of the more and even more of the mystical parts of Judaism, and it primarily exploded knowledge-wise in the Middle Ages with the coming of the Kabbalah. Now we come into this world composed of three parts: the body, the personality, and the soul, each with a different time frame of existence. The essence of every human life is the soul. After death, the soul lives on. Yizkor is about life, death, eternity. But the core mission we all share to bring light, love, life, kindness, and goodness into the world. But the unequaled bond and timeless connection between you, someone you love, and still do. Yizkor is far more than a ritual or prayer. It is a gift from your soul in this world to the soul of your loved one in the next. Each of us is a blend of physical and spiritual, body and soul. The Hebrew word for soul is neshama. It comes from the word meaning breath. When God created the first human being, he breathed the soul into the physical body. The breath of God is the source and essence of the soul, and there is a circular relationship between us and God. God's out-breath is our in-breath, and our out-breath is God's in-breath. We seek to connect, and the prayers, the rituals, the observances, the liturgy, is designed to foster that connection. Now, Judaism does not view the soul in the realm of the spiritual as the exclusive domain in which to live life. The Torah teaches us that people are created in the image of God. And this means that just like God breathes spiritual life into an inanimate physical body, in a sense we can do a similar thing. We do not run away from the body, we refine it. Whether it is good food, sexuality, relaxing, Judaism views life as an ongoing challenge to elevate the body and infuse the physical with the spiritual. They must work together. Early rabbis saw the body like a horse and the soul as the rider. And as with anything else, the question for us is, who is leading who and in what direction? You see, friends, Judaism sees life as a shared body-soul experience. And the question is, which of the two is the most influential in shaping our lives? Will one's life be primarily defined by the body, while the soul is relegated to brief cameo appearances? Or will the soul be the star of the show, with the body playing a wonderful supporting role? The soul has been breathed into every one of us as a priceless gem that becomes even more refined and sparkling when we choose to live a soul-directed life. If, on the other hand, one lives more of a body-centered life, the soul atrophies. It loses much of its shine. We all know people who can fit into one or the other category. Exercise them both. That is true health and freedom. You have just entered the period where you're working on freeing yourself. Free the soul. The body's a vessel. It decays and dies. The soul lives on. When the soul departs the body, it enters a spiritual world known as Olam Haba, the world to come, where the deep pleasure of pure spirituality is infinitely more manifest than it is in the physical world. As the soul transitions into the spiritual world, it does so with both its beautiful, well-developed features and the unsightly, atrophied features it acquired in the physical world. In the world to come, the soul steps in front of the mirror of self, where it has a deep realization of everything good and meaningful it achieved in the physical world. The result is a profound experience of closeness to God. Physical and spiritual, good and evil, deep and superficial, productive, destructive, actions that have their place in this world. In our lives, we can always grow, change, improve, and live a much more soul-focused life. And that's what Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur really focus on. After death, the time for achieving is past. What is done is done. Nonetheless, there remains a powerful way that the soul can gain new levels of elevation even after death. The living have the ability to enhance the condition of a departed soul in the afterlife, and that's where Yizkor comes in and is so important. The idea of remembrance is founded on two fundamental Jewish beliefs: that prayers and actions of people in this world can have an elevating spiritual effect on the souls of the departed, and that a primary mission in every person's life is to make the world a kinder, better, more beautiful place. This pursuit of goodness and kindness is known as Olam Chesed Yibaneh, to build a world of kindness. The Yizkor service is brief, but it is a beautiful expression of these ideas. When you make an effort to help someone else, and you do so in honor of a departed relative, then that person becomes the motivating cause behind your act of kindness. The result is threefold. You become better, more giving. The departed soul of your relative is elevated. The recipient benefits from your kindness and generosity. Bless you all. We are at the end of the holiday. It is the time for Yizkor. But have a fantastic week. Make it a week of love and light, a week of peace. Work on manifesting your new year, your new life, your new you. With all of this newfound freedom, the freedom to be you. Honor and remember the people in your life. Honor the journey you are on. Honor yourself and friends. Keep your eyes open to what you may not be seeing. Keep your ears open and listen to the world around you. We set in motion all that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our cause, our effect. Everything is linked. As I've said, you always have time to forgive and be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong. To yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, and vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. You learn to be forgiving and compassionate. Never stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your own promised land. It is in sight. It's right there. So keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith and unwavering adherence to principle. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. And may you nurture kindness and love everywhere. Work to be present in the body. Expand the heart, quiet the mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be present in all of life's circumstances. Work on your intentions. Continue to believe in the premise of decency, of goodness, of humanity. Turn your dreams into your beliefs into reality. Put intent into the new beginnings, the spring of your life. Focus on being free. Give love, my friends. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone. Because someone will actually always be there for you whether you know it or not. And remember to honor all of those who've had an impact in your life. I'll remember you. When I forgot all the rest. You to me were true. You to me were the best. When there is no more, you cut to the core. Quicker than anyone I knew. When I'm all alone in the great unknown, I'll remember you. Remember those you have lost and loved, as people will remember you. Be happy, be healthy, be helpful, be kind and be loving. And put your will on the blank canvas of life. Join us next week when we return to our regular weekly show and realize that with death comes holiness. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.